Hey guys, welcome back to the Six Side Calcio Podcast. We're back and we're finally able to preview the Serie A matches. Well, actually, Coppa Italia. This Friday and Saturday. I'm joined by Francesco, Danny, and Joe. What's up, boys?
What's up, guys?
Ciao, ragazzi.
Hey, guys.
We're finally back. So, how's everyone doing?
Oh, it's good. It's just same old. Not much you can do now, but at least a few things are opening. So now we have more like varieties of options to like do. Say parks are opening, restaurants are gonna be opening. So at least now we can somewhat get back to our normal lives.
Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just excited to see Calcio come back. The Coppa Italia coming this week. Really excited to see real soccer come back. It was fun watching the Bundesliga, but now I got to see a real league, and I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, I agree with Francesco there. Serie A is slowly returning. We have the Coppa Italia set for this weekend, and everything's coming back to normal.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Coppa Italia too. And it's different because watching the Bundesliga and watching Serie A, it's two different leagues. You can tell the difference between them. I feel like Bundesliga is more get to from the back, just hoofball it to the forwards and stuff. At Serie A, you can tell they build up the play more. For me, Bundesliga, I don't know. Did you guys realize this too? That they rarely use their midfield, or is it just me? A few games, you could tell they don't use their midfield as much as they use say their wingers. They give it to their striker, to their fullbacks or whatever.
Yeah.
I noticed that their center backs play a lot of long balls to their attackers.
Yeah. I don't even know. For me, some games I watched, it seems like the midfield was just invisible. I don't know, lack of midfield play, you can say. But they're good. There's some good midfielders in the Bundesliga, but I don't know why they don't use them that much. As a typical midfielder, if that makes sense. I don't know. For me, it feels like it's a lot of hoofballs towards the forwards instead of building it up from the midfield.
The Bundesliga was like a snack. Right before dinner, you're hungry, you get a little snack to blow you over, and then Serie A is like the meal. You eat your dinner, you eat your steak, your chicken, and you get ready for the real meal. That's what the Bundesliga was. It was a good snack while it lasted, but now it's time for the meal. We're ready for the meal.
Yeah, it's good too that also La Liga and stuff, BPL, they're all coming back as well. But for us, it's mostly Serie A, and I'm excited to watch Juve versus Milan on Friday. It's gonna be a really good game.
Did you guys see Emre Can? He scored. He was playing center back. He actually did really well at center back.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
See, I didn't even know he was playing center back.
Yeah, I played center back.
Played center back in a couple of games at Juve too.
Yeah, he didn't look too bad, to be honest. He scored two.
Solid
He's
play.
more of a natural center defensive mid, and he could even slot in the center back position too sometimes. So
yeah, that was kind of funny to see because at Juve he was kind of useless, and then in the Bundesliga he's a world class top midfielder. He looks like a center back, anyways. But it's just funny how you can see the difference in competition.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw that Jadon Sancho, I think that's his name, that kid from he used to play for City. I saw that kid. He tore apart maybe I don't know what the team was, Paderborn or something. He tore the whole team apart. And they said he would have got his legs chopped off if
100%. Someone was just have you seen that? Just going cleats first or whatever, studs first, and break his ankle.
Even that Haaland kid, he's a good talent, but he's so one-dimensional. He can only he's just a finisher. He can't really dribble.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not really a passer.
He's like a bigger version of Icardi.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, very similar in play style.
And he's always it seems like which is good for a striker. He's always at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of tap-ins. He reads the ball well. He's always in a good position to score or create a chance. And that's one thing I think. I don't know. I think he could do good in Serie A, if he did come to the Serie A. But I think the German league would it best suits him.
Yeah, and it's a more fast-paced league.
Yeah, and I think the Serie A too. You need your striker to be somewhat good at dribbling, good hold up, and also at the right place at the right time as well. Because Serie A, for me, I feel like Serie A they rely. You need the good teams need to have a creator, and that's why if you look at teams like say Juve, they got Dybala who could create. Inter, they have Eriksen who could create. They also have they're good midfielders who can create as well and win the ball. Atalanta, they have Papu, who's a really good creator. Lazio, they got Luis Alberto, who's a good creator. Napoli, we're somewhat missing that, but I feel like that's what like Zielinski could do, and also like Insigne can do. They can create chances and create plays. Even Mertens too can create his own plays as well.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like there's a few things different between like the Serie A and the Bundesliga, because I feel like the Bundesliga, they just hoof balls to the fullbacks, cross it in, and then it's in the net. While Serie A, like they rely on the creators, say like they're not like the cabs or the wingers to create the plays and let the strikers finish. That's like what I think.
Yeah, and before we get into the Coppa, which we'll talk about later on in the podcast, I do want to tell you guys that we will be doing a live watch-along both Friday and Saturday for the Milan-Juve game and Napoli-Inter. It'll be live on our YouTube channel. We'll share more details on our Instagram and Twitter. And probably the next day or so, we're just getting some last-minute details touched up. So, Friday it'll just be probably Danny, myself, and Francesco. Joe, I'm not sure if you're good for Saturday, but we'll see whoever's available. We'll hop on, talk during the whole game. There won't be like a visual because obviously you guys will be watching the game. But if you guys want to listen to the game and watch the game while you're listening to us, you can join us. We'll even take some guys, whoever wants to come in, we can add you guys in the call at halftime maybe if you guys want to share your opinion on the match. Even after the match. Anything like that. So, feel free to tag along, and it'll just be a really relaxed thing, watching the game, giving our opinion, play by play, and I say we move on now. There's something I've really been wanting to talk about, which is Balotelli being kicked out of training. I'm pretty sure everybody saw that video. It was just him walking into training, and then they told him he can't be here, and he left. Basically, all the video was. But his contract was terminated by Cellino, Brescia's president. So he's no longer part of the team, and I don't know why he tried going to training when he's not part of the team anymore. But that was interesting to see. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, it's just, you know what, too? It's kind of sad on, like, Brescia's part as well, because they brought in Balotelli in the summer to help them stay in Serie A, to be the player that everyone they come, Balotelli's played for Brescia. Like, maybe it could have been potentially like a good move to like maybe rejuvenate his career, maybe get him into the Azzurri squad. But again, it hasn't worked out. And even on the like Balotelli's part too, like I get it. Like you have like he has attitude. You can tell he has like an attitude problem. It's like every club he goes to, he ends up getting terminated because of his attitude, the way he doesn't show up to training, the way he acts towards his teammates, like the laziness he shows during games. It's just sad because he had the talent to be one of the best, maybe strikers in the world, maybe one of the best strikers in the Azzurri colors. And it's just sad, and especially when he returns to his hometown to play for the club that he grew up watching, cheering for. And it's just, for me, it's a sad situation to see. And I think this could be Balotelli's last club. I don't know if any club could take a chance with him. And I know a lot of people saying, why doesn't he just come to the MLS? Maybe like a Super Bowl option could be Toronto FC or Montreal. And if I don't see that, because with Toronto FC, the same thing happened to Gregory Adebayo and also Jovinko. They also had falling outs with like the owners, the coaching, whatever. And look at them now. One is not, I don't even know if he's playing soccer, and one's in Saudi Arabia, maybe potentially coming back to Serie A. But for me, if Balotelli goes to the MLS, he's got to change his attitude, because the MLS, it's not just because he's a name doesn't mean he'll pan out and teams will like accept his behavior, because MLS is really strict on behavior as well. Look at what happened with Katai and his wife. Just because his wife made really bad comments, LA terminated his contract. So who knows where his future could be too.
Yeah, but going on that point, then I wouldn't say Jovinko was a failure with attitude, probably.
Not like a
out.
failure, like overall, but just like his last, the way he left, it was bad because he blamed it on the staff in Toronto FC, which is not good to just do. You can't, like, I know, like, sometimes you'll disagree with like the owner, the coach, and whatever, but as a professional, you should be blasting them on like your Instagram page as well. And that's one thing I was never, like, I'm not a fan of, like, when a player leaves the club and they say, oh, they didn't treat me right, this, that, and that. Just say thank you for having me, and that's it. Like, just play on. Like, don't blast them. And that's one thing I didn't like when Jovinko left, that he blasted the ownership as well.
Well, yeah, obviously, but like at the same time, like when you get treated poorly, you want to be honest with your fans so your fans know what's happening. But similar to Balotelli, though, the Balotelli situation, it's like a kid who got expelled from school. When you get expelled from school, you know you're not supposed to do something. You know you're not supposed to go there. You're like, oh, I actually want to go today. Balotelli's attitude was, I want to go where I want to go, and that's it. So he didn't care if he was terminated from Brescia or not. He wanted to go to training that day. He decided to go to training that day. He went to training. And they didn't let him in, rightfully so. And I don't know what happened. He was just walking around. Maybe in his head he's like, wow, I fucked up here. But I don't know. They were supposed to bring Balotelli to Brescia, hometown club. He was supposed to, like Danny said, reignite his career. Maybe not be. We're not saying he's gonna be like prime Balotelli over here, but just what's the words I'm looking here? To look at the youngsters, train the youngsters as an experienced player, someone who's been at the top before, at the pinnacle of his career, and just show them not to follow in his footsteps, the mistakes he's made, and just be a great example in the locker room. And he's been the opposite of that. He doesn't show up to training. He has attitude. He's lazy in practices. He's lazy in games. I wouldn't even be able to tell you one Serie A game this season where I said, well, Balotelli had a really good performance, because it didn't happen. I wish the best for him all the time, but this is just excuse after excuse now, club after club, and he just can't find his right form. I think his career is finished. Maybe he goes to Galatasaray, the Super League, the Chinese League, for a nice little payday, or the MLS, but then again, I won't see him in the MLS for more than one season after getting another contract termination. I wish the best for him, but overall, he just made a bunch of mistakes in his career, and it costed him.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with both Francesco and Danny. I feel that this was the chance for him to really notch up his career. You know, he's been at France for the last couple of years, come back to Italy, to where he was really made, maybe start his career again, but this season he hasn't been doing much. Again, he's also coming to training late. He doesn't come sometimes. Some games he doesn't perform. It always looks like he's a moody player to be around. I just think that Balotelli's career has been finished and is finished. It's really sad because during 2012, 2010 era, you know, he was maybe Italy's best prospect. He was probably their best player, especially the game versus Germany really showed what he's capable of, and when he's on his game, what he could do. But since then, you know, he's been not the player that he used to be. And with players, you know, you can have the skill, you can have the talent, you can have everything that you want, but if you're not really focused on the game, if you're not really focused on the team you're playing, the results will show. And this season it does show for Balotelli. I think that he will not be in Europe after what he's done with Brescia. I think, like what Francesco said, maybe China, maybe like a Saudi Arabia team, a team like that. But I don't think he's even going to go to the MLS, because I don't think the owners there will even want him, the type of player on that team. You know, a player that, you know, he's a big name. He'll attract the fans, especially coming from Italy to go to the MLS. But there's also lots of problems he could cause you. So I think that Balotelli, I don't think we'll be seeing him in Europe again. And if we do, it will be a team that really is going to be really willing to take a chance on him. But
like maybe like a Galatasaray or something.
Yeah, like a team like that, you know, Galatasaray, maybe like a Saudi Arabia team, maybe like where Mandzukic is playing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see him in China because I don't think the pay raise is not like it used to be. I think they really went down. I think there's a wage now. well, not a wage.
Yeah,
I
they
think
have like a
there's
salary cap.
a limit. Yeah,
It's a max
salary
now.
cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll pay. He'll be getting a lot of money there anyways. So yeah, it's really sad to see because I've always liked Balotelli. I've always liked him as a player when he was on his game. I always wanted him to be back on the national team. I think at the beginning of the year, one of our podcasts, we were discussing 3 players that we want to see start for the striker position for the Italian national team. And one of the players I said was Balotelli, but as the season went by, he's not worthy of that position, nor of the Italian national team. And it really sucks to see, but it's not a thing that he's a bad player. It's just he did it all by himself. He could have went far places. He could have been on any team in the world if he just stayed with his mind on the game. But at the end of the day, he ruined his own career, and we'll see what's next for Mario Balotelli.
Yeah, you guys went into great detail there, made a lot of good points. I think the biggest issue in this situation is that it was his attitude and not his style of play and the way he played and performed.
Yeah.
Because if he did perform, he didn't perform too well, but his attitude was okay, I can still see a team like maybe like a Benevento or Lecce or someone picking him up. But the fact that it was his attitude that really made him get terminated, I think that's the biggest issue here because even if he has one bad year, we've seen what he's done in the past. There's still like quality there. You say, okay, another team will pick him up. But after the whole scenario and circumstances of the way he left Brescia, I think Balotelli's future is going to be in some very it's going to be in a doubtful place.
Yeah, it's a big question
and
mark.
I can't really see him staying in the Serie A at least. Maybe Serie B, but I don't think he'd go there.
No.
But
I only see. I think he's done with Italy. I think. Honestly, I think a team like maybe Flamengo, or not. There was a team in Brazil that wanted him. I remember seeing that. Maybe Galatasaray.
Yeah, I think it was Flamengo.
But he also didn't he say too he wants to start his own like African Premier League or something. He wants to start his own league.
We're not getting into that because we'll be here for a while. But yeah, he mentioned something like about that.
Maybe he'll go with that. I don't know. Who knows?
He wants every African player to leave Europe because it's too racist, and to build stadiums in Africa and play there and show the talent and show the love of soccer there with no racism and all love. But again, with that statement, he has to go to Africa first. He has to be the leader. He can't just say things and just not follow along with it. So that'd be an interesting path for him. Maybe he could be a vocal advocate for racism in football and start something there.
Who knows? Yeah, there's a big question mark. Let's just say there's a big question mark with Balotelli's future. That's.
It's sad to see. It's sad to see because
he has
Italy,
all the talent. Yeah, he has all the talent.
Italy, we only have like a handful of great talents. Not even. The only talent I see from Italy is probably Zaniolo from Roma. Like he's levels above the rest of the talent that we have in Italy. To see that Balotelli at the time, was a good prospect, and and it sucks to see because Italy. I'm trying to say like I'm trying to push to France because France has all the talent in the world over there. They have Mbappe, they have all those young talents, and they look like they're going on the up. But the way I see it with Italy, I think that talent for Italy is like hard to find. You really don't see an Mbappe type of player. You don't see like a Laporte. You don't see like those top-notch players, those young ones. We only have Zaniolo, in my opinion. And to see what Balotelli was before, he was like an Mbappe. He was like a top-notch player, a young guy, striker. He would score against all the big teams. He would get the big goals. And to see where the last couple of years brought him, it really sucks not only for him but for Italian football too.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that statement.
Yeah, obviously we wish him the best, but you can't deny that everything he's done is self-made. He's done it to himself. You can't blame his environment because he's been in England, he's been in the national team, he's been many different teams in Italy.
Clubs too. Like it's not like he's been on like crappy clubs that treat him bad. He's been on good clubs that respect their players a lot.
Yeah, and everywhere he's gone, there's been issues. So it's not it wasn't affected by a certain team or person. If it's been everywhere he's been going, that there's been a problem. So he's done it to himself. We do wish him the best. I hope he can find something that he is passionate about and believes in and does well in it. like Francesco mentioned, a vocal advocate for making an African league and avoiding racism, which is something that's been going on in the world, and it's a very big issue that needs to be taken care of. So I think it would be great for Balotelli to start something like that. It'd be great for his image, and it would help a lot of people. So
Yeah,
I think
100%.
doing something like that isn't easy. Obviously, that will take a very long time to start, but I think the best way is before he retires for him to play for an African club. That's the best thing he can do right now.
And just to learn the environment. And
yeah, exactly. I feel like he needs to become kind of like a leader there, and I'm sure if he plays for an African club and does amazing, I'm sure he'll be loved there, and he can start working on his league once his career is over. So I think that would be a great step for him. Now moving on, something I kind of want to bring up here is Tonali. Gianluca Di Marzio reported that Inter is closing in on Tonali, Sandro Tonali, of course, from Brescia. Tonali is someone that obviously we've spoken out on. We're not really the biggest fans of him. Well, I know Danny is more so than us. Us meaning me and Francesco. Joe, I'm not really sure what you think about Tonali. I'm sure you'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, Joe, we'll let you start it off here. What do you think about Tonali?
Well, Tonali, you can't really judge him so far. It's only his first season in the Serie A. He's in the 20-year years old, so you're really not expecting a lot from him. He's also a midfielder versus a bad team, as we were just saying about Balotelli. He really doesn't have no one to really pass to or get those goals. The thing with me with Tonali is that for Juve right now, I've always said that these are the 2 to 3 years we have to get big and really build our foundation around Ronaldo and Chiellini and Bonucci, because once these players are gone, I don't think that Juve is there's nobody that can rebuild these types of players. The comparisons to Pirlo, I really don't think that he's close to Pirlo. He's not. He's more of like he has good passing skills like Pirlo, but he's not like the complete player like Pirlo was. Pirlo can really change a game with just one pass, and I don't think that Tonali, he's still young in his career, but he hasn't really showed that next step to be like a Pirlo. But for Inter, I think that the reported deal of 30 million, it's not bad business. 30 million for a young prospect, especially Italian, and he's a very young age, is not really a bad sort of business from Inter. The reason I think that Juve it's not really going for him, I think that Juve right now is looking for more of a swap deal with players and with teams. And I also feel that Juve wants to get a big name for the midfield, a player that could really change their system around and really could work with what we're trying to do here. But at the end of the day, 30 million is a really good deal for Inter. I think that they have the best midfield in Serie A, and next year there's just adding to that. But for Juve, I feel that it's time to go get a big name player. And not only one big name, but we have to get a couple big names. I think Bentancur has really been a really good midfield for Juve this season. I think that he's the only midfielder who should be staying for next season if there's any. So we have to build around him. But for going back to Tonali, he's choosing to go to Inter, and they're really going to build something special there with him, with that midfield, especially with Antonio Conte. But I just hope that it's not another Verratti situation where we had him and we could have bought him, and then years went by and we wish we could have bought him. So, and especially from Inter, I don't think that if he would become something special, I don't think Inter will ever sell him to us. So I just hope he doesn't turn into what everybody's saying that he's going to turn into, because then it's just going to look bad on us, especially if the deal is only for 30 million. But for right now, good for Inter, 30 million. And for Juve, I think that they're aiming for a bigger name than Sandro Tonali for the midfield.
Yeah, but I just want to bring up quickly, don't you think it'll be tough for Tonali to start at Inter, because they do have Sensi, they do have Eriksson, Brozovic, Barella.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very, very tough for him to really get a starting place at Inter. And that's another thing, if he had a chance to go to Juve, I think that he would walk into the Juve midfield, especially, we have Matuidi and Khedira, I think that will be gone. Ramsey really is not, he's a great player, but he's injured every other game. Rabiot has really not got into the Serie A soccer. And Pjanic looks like he's going to be out the door as soon as the summer transfer window opens. So I think he would have walked in right into the midfield. At the end of the day, I think it's not that Juve it's whatever the Juve manager looks at a player. if they really want him, they'll go out and get him. And I really think that the management and Saudi weren't on the same list to want him at the team. And if they really wanted him, they would have got him. But for Inter, it's going to take time. He has to develop. He's only 20 years old, and with the injuries that they have to Sensi, and Barella has been injured a lot this season. Eriksson hasn't really been in the team, so it's going to be interesting to see. But it's just a development thing here, and we're going to see where Tonali goes with Inter.
Yeah, it's very tough because. Oh yeah, you can go. You can go down. I was going to say quickly just that. Barella is someone you can't bench. Obviously, he's one for the future. He needs to play.
Yeah, he's really good, Barella.
Yeah. Eriksson.
Sensi's been good too before he got injured. So.
That's a good midfield, Barella, Sensi, and Tonali. That's Italy's midfield right there. So.
And they also have Eriksson too.
Eriksson, Brozovic.
At the cam. Yeah, Brozovic.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't know why. It's good business on Inter for 30 million. That's a good deal for him because I know Brescia won 50 before. It was a crazy amount for him. And for me, I don't know why he would go to Inter though. I get they have a good midfield already, and they're just adding on to it. But if Tonali really wants to start and develop his game and become, and I'm gonna put in quotations, the next Pirlo, which for me, I think that's a crappy comparison. I don't agree with that comparison at all. Just because he has the same hair, they both play for Brescia, doesn't mean he'll become the next Pirlo. It's just a name for me. I really like Tonali. I'm a big fan of him. For me, I think he would have been best if he went to a team like AC Milan, Juve, because at least he knows he can potentially start. At Inter, and for me, I don't even know because they have Barella, Sensi, Eriksson, Brozovic, who's having a good season.
Bojavarello.
Yeah, Bojavarello. But they also have guys like Vecino, who they like too. Conte likes for some reason. Gagliardini too, they got a lot of.
It looks like Atalanta is trying to re-sign him. Gagliardini,
yeah. Okay, I could. Yeah, but they also have to. Does that mean guys like Vecino could be out the door? Borja Barrero could be out the door. Because if Tonali comes in, then I think Inter might have way too much midfielders. Just for me, they'll have good depth at the midfield, but I think they'll have too much, and it's gonna be hard unless they sign Tonali, say, and then they loan him out to a smaller Serie A club, an Atalanta or something, and then potentially bring him back the following season.
The issue is I don't think Tonali would be willing to do something like that. And it's a problem because Eriksson, let's be honest, Eriksson's not a player that's going to be on the bench. Won't. They brought him in to start, and he wants to start. Barella has to start. They paid a lot of money for him. He needs to start.
And
Brozovic,
bought him. Yeah, they just bought him.
Brozovic has been one of their most consistent players over the last couple of years, especially this season. He's been great. So he can't really be benched. Sensi, before he got injured, was their best player, you can argue.
You could debate. Sensi could have been one of the best midfielders in Italy before he
was injured 100%. And he'll be back. So I think it's a great move for Inter because it's always a good problem to have when you have so many good players. But for Tonali, it's not the right move.
Did Inter buy Sensi, or is he?
No, he's still on loan, I think.
He's still on loan?
Yeah, but I think
I'm sure they have some kind of option or obligation.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think they have. I think it's a 25 to 30 million option for him.
Yeah, it might be an option or an obligation after a certain amount of games. I'm not really sure, but I'm just gonna let's say assuming he stays.
Say if he go, it depends. If Inter, because sometimes you never know what Inter's thinking. Maybe they think, okay, maybe we'll sign Tonali instead of keeping Sensi. You never know what Inter could think. I think they'll buy him, but I'm just saying, you never know. They could potentially say, okay, maybe if we sign Tonali, maybe a guy like Sensi could go or something.
But even with Sensi going back, Inter has a three-man midfield. And either way, Brozovic won't be benched for a good portion of the season. So Tonali will be a rotation player either way.
Brozovic has been really good this season as well. So
yeah. I just think at this age, being a rotation player is not the right step for Tonali. I think for Inter, it's a great move for 30 million to sign a young Italian player who's 20. I think it's a good move for Inter because they have a lot of good midfielders. Obviously, when you're in the Champions League, Serie A, Coppa Italia, all these competitions, you want to have a lot of players on your team of quality to rotate. But for Tonali, it's not the right move, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
In my opinion, I think this is a great move for both parties here. Obviously, at Juve, he would have walked into the midfield, but what benefits would he have gotten? Juve struggled to get young Italians to prosper and be good. Antonio Conte, I think that's a big factor here. He makes Graziano Pelé look like Cristiano Ronaldo in his prime. Imagine what he could do with Tonali. It's not about much more playing time, which he will be getting at Inter. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to get that playing time, but he will be getting a good amount of games in. Marotta wouldn't just buy Tonali for the hell of it. He's going to get a good amount of games times in, especially if he's what people are saying he is. And Conte is going to see that, and he's going to nitpick at Tonali every training session he has with him to make him an even better player and make him better than Sensi, make him better than Barella. They'll make him a real big star at Inter, and that's why he's going to get great game time. He's going to be starting a lot of games, in my opinion, and it's going to be interesting to see how he develops his game under Conte. But I think that's the main reason why he joined it. Imagine playing under a coach like Antonio Conte, who makes Graziano Pelé look like Cristiano Ronaldo. You want that kind of management and coach that Sarri just can't offer to young players. Yeah, he'll get playing time at Juve. Yeah, he'll win a Scudetto, Coppa Italia, possibly a Champions League if we're lucky. But at Inter, he's really going to develop his game, and even if he doesn't need a showcase it on the field, he's just going to have it nitpicked by Conte on the training sessions. He's going to get the chemistry with Sensi and Barella, who is the future of the Azzurri midfield. And he's just going to learn from players like Eriksen and Brozovic to develop more elements of his game. So I think this is a really good move from Inter's part and from Tonali's part to see the potential is there. The potential's high. He's working with the best Italian manager currently, and he's going to be work alongside and getting to know him, getting to know their play styles with the best Azzurri midfield, minus Zaniolo, who's obviously at Roma. So it's just going to be really good to see. I think it'd be a really good environment for him. It's a winning environment, similar to a Juventus. And you got a winning coach, you got a winning team, a team that could really go for the Scudetto next season. So I'm really looking forward to this move. I just want to say grazie Marotta from not letting us buy this guy, because I think it would have been a bad move for Juve, but for Inter, it's a really good move.
But Francesco, I just want to jump in. Who would be your starting midfield for Inter?
I was literally who are you
going to take out?
Who would you bench for Tonali?
For me, I think Brozovic is a really, really good player. Like, he's one of my favorite players at Inter. He's very underrated. But as age is coming up, I feel like he's going to be more of a rotational player. He's going to be that guy who's going to come on.
But it's not that time yet. Maybe in a year or two, but not now.
Yeah,
especially after the season he's had.
They still have guys like Sensi, Barella, Eriksen. But
Brozovic should become a player he's irreplaceable right now, Brozovic, after what he's done this season.
It's not like Inter to play Tonali.
I think it's going to be a very healthy rotation. No, I just think it's going to be like a very healthy rotation. It's going to be like the current Juve midfield, but good. With the current Juve midfield, we haven't had like a solid three players who's just been like, okay, these are a solid three starters.
Every week it's someone new.
Experimenting with that. With Inter, I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a healthy rotation. I think Tonali's going to be in one game. Then they're going to do Tonali, Sensi, Barella. Then the next game they'll do Brozovic, Sensi,Tonali. And they're just going to rotate to see what's the best formula for the midfield.
Yeah, but
and when Tonali
it's much easier to say.
That quality.
Yeah. It's not right. It's not FIFA. Like, it's not like the teams are.
That's easy to say, but.
It's hard.
Do you think Eriksen's going to want to play half the games he's supposed to? Do you think Brozovic's going to play half the games?
If that's the case,
Barella cost him 45 million.
Like Sensi and Barella could say, you know what? If I'm a rotation player,
they're out
to a club.
That's why.
It doesn't work like that. It's just it's weird. It's a weird move. Like, for me, it's a weird move.
I think the starting midfield will be to start the season for Inter. I think it will be Brozovic, Sensi, and Barella. Tonali and Eriksen will be on the bench, and then they'll slowly be moved into the starting 11.
And between them, if one of them are going to start, it's going to be Eriksen. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think Eriksen could start.
So Tonali's kind of left out.
I think Eriksen could start over Brozovic, in my opinion.
I like the point Francesco made, though, about Conte. But I think that getting playing time every week is much more valuable right now at the age of 20 than being coached by Conte. I feel like if this were to happen next season, or if they send him back to Brescia, I think it would be a good move for Tonali. But I just think that at this young of an age, he needs to get as much games as he can in the Serie A, especially after only having one season on his belt.
Especially if he wants to make the Euros.
Yeah, that's a huge factor as well, the Euro. So it's a weird move. I think honestly, him staying at Brescia another year probably would have been better. Honestly.
Even if you like say okay, I think if Brescia get relegated, they would probably sell him. I've even like a team like maybe I don't know, like a Milan could help him. Like I think a Milan could be more benefit.
I think Fiorentina would be great for him.
Even Fiorentina would be a great team. Like that, yeah. In my opinion, even I think Atalanta too could have been a good move for him.
Yeah, especially with their newfound money, especially after they're in the quarterfinals now, Champions League.
Yeah.
So they might have the funds to get
especially because they're an up and coming team. They got a lot of good players, and if you add Tonali to that midfield, I think he could start every game in that midfield. And I think he'll be good under Gasperini because Gasperini is for me, I think Gasperini is one of the most underrated coaches probably in
he's
football.
Really good with.
And
he's really good.
I think if
Tonali
could have gone to like Atalanta, I think Atalanta didn't want to pay all that money for him, all that much for him. That's why, or else they could have. But I think a team like Atalanta would have been more beneficial than a team like Inter, just because Inter have a stacked midfield already.
And can we take a second to laugh at Cellino, the president of Brescia, who said that Barca offered 65 million plus 2 players for Tonali. Dude, and now all of a sudden he's going to Inter for 30 million.
He tried to jack the price up. That's all it was.
I said as soon as I saw that.
I don't think
it's not real. Like he said it, but Barca did not send an offer in. That's the biggest lie I've ever seen.
I think Barca did send an offer, but I don't think it was 65
million
plus 2
No
players.
way.
I don't think if that was the case, I think
they would have accepted it.
Right now. I think
they would have accepted it easily.
Right now.
Yeah, Cellino would have accepted it so like fast.
That's the biggest joke I've ever seen.
I think Barca could have been like the same as Inter situation. I think that could have been like an Inter situation as well.
With the midfield being too stacked?
Like just because the midfield, you know what, mate? He would probably be a bench player because Busquets will probably start. They have De Jong. They got Rakitic. They got.
It would have been worse. It would have been worse than the Inter situation because
I think it would have been kind of the same. I think it would be kind of the same, but also
at least at Inter, you're learning the Italian game. You're learning in Serie A, and you're learning under Antonio Conte. At Barca, who the hell are you learning?
No, I'm saying like, just like
the guy's going to be sacked after next season.
I do think though it would have helped them a little bit learning the Spanish style because they play a really quicker, like tiki-taka play style. Tonali's very slow on the ball at times, which I noticed. So that could have helped him a little bit, but I do think Italy would be better for him.
The way he tries to play, and I see it too, like I get he tries to do what Pirlo does, but he can't. That's like, you know what I mean? Like because Pirlo's really good at getting the ball from the center backs, slowing down the plays, picking out those long balls. I think that's what Tonali tries to do, but I don't know if that could be his game. I think he's more of like a ball, like kind of like the way Jorginho.
He's a ball winner.
Ball winner and play a good ball, like kind of like the way Jorginho plays. I think he can learn that system. I think he can play like that.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking actually, just crossed my mind. I know Pirlo's recently he's going to be the under-23 coach, if I'm not mistaken, for Juve. It would have been really interesting if you actually came to Juve and not necessarily played for the under-23 team, but if for practices, we had Pirlo come to the main team and work one-on-one with Tonali to really see.
But I think that's all just like a newspaper headline.
That's what it is.
What's the real benefit of that?
Even Pirlo had said that he's not nothing like him. Pirlo said he's better than him because he could do more. He's a more versatile than Pirlo. But I think he's just being nice. He doesn't want to be too cocky.
Yeah, the only thing that would come out of that is maybe a picture of them together at the training ground.
Yeah, and then that joke, I'm gonna tell my kids Sandro Tonali was Pirlo, like, you know, I mean, like those jokes.
Yeah, maybe if he were to work with Pirlo individually, like I know in basketball, like I don't want to get into another sport, but I'm just saying, like Kobe Bryant, before unfortunately he passed away, he would train like Jason Tatum, a player for the Boston Celtics, for the entire summer, and you could really see aspects of Kobe Bryant's game now in this season, Jason Tatum. So maybe Pirlo did that with Tonali for an entire summer instead of going on vacation.
Every sport does that too. Like even like in football, say guys from different teams will train with each other, and say like a guy, say for example, like say Michael Thomas of the Saints, he'll call like a rookie, say I don't know, like CeeDee Lamb of the Cowboys, and he'll be like, "Hey, you want to come train? I'm gonna teach you some stuff," and that's what they do too as well. And
Yeah,
that's why I
for
think like
sure.
Tonali could do as well with Pirlo. Say next season during like the preseason or like training, whatever, Pirlo can hit up Tonali, and then like they can just work together, work on his game.
Yeah, because at the Juve training ground, they're not going to make Pirlo only work with Tonali. It's number one, it's unfair to all the other, like, they're going to see it's favoritism. Players will get mad. So I think if he did in the summer say, okay, instead of going on vacation, I'll work with Pirlo. I'm sure if he gives Pirlo a call, I'm sure he can get his number from someone. Gives him a call. Pirlo's not going to say no. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So I think that would be good.
But at the same time, it's all up to Tonali. Does Tonali really want to give up his vacation to go train? A lot of players don't really have the love for that. They want their vacation. They just want the money.
Sometimes players just take vacation because they're I don't know, they feel like recover. I know a lot of players take vacation just to like say, you know what, let me get 2 weeks off, get my mindset off.
That's fine though. 2 weeks, you can do that.
Because they're human too. It's not like they always have to train.
Obviously.
Give them, like,
they're not robots.
They play what, 6 months or something? They play like half the year, and
they're done in May. If he takes 2 weeks out of June to take a break, and then the last 2 weeks of June and until they start training camp, stays with Pirlo, I'm sure he'd benefit a lot from that. Yeah, and he's still young. You don't need to go to the Mykonos on a 2-month vacation when you're 20.
Yeah, so your body's still young. It's raw. You can handle a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so we went into a lot of detail there with Tonali, but it's a very interesting situation. We all have a different opinion on it, but I say we move on now. Actually, before we get into the Coppa preview, I say we talk about the new rule that they added in for this season. There's no extra time in the Coppa Italia. It goes straight to penalties. So, Joe, I'll let you start off with that one.
It's a little rule that they made up for this year. I'm personally not a fan of it. I think that if the game goes by to the 90 minutes, I think it should go up to extra time. Penalty shootouts is really not a way to decide, especially a Coppa Italia game, maybe even a final. I think it should be at extra time. And then if there's no goals at an extra time, then it should go to pens. I really don't see a change. Why they had to change it. I know that the fans and all can't be at the game, but they shouldn't change the rules of the game now also. So I'm really not a fan of it. I think it should still go to extra time and then pens. But we'll just see what happens with it as the Coppa Italia goes through this week.
Yeah, no, I see. For me, I get maybe why they changed it. So like the players, because I know like the players might feel fatigue or whatever, so they want to speed up the game just to get them back into par or whatever. But for me, I don't know. I don't know why. For me, I'm not a fan of them changing it. I'm not a big fan of penalty shootouts anyways, to begin with. In soccer, I think they should eliminate it, but that's a different topic. For me, exactly like what Joe said, a game should not be, especially like a semifinals and a finals, should not be determined based off skills. It should be playing-wise. And for me, I think if they wanted to, they should have done the 2 extra time. And if the game ends, then maybe do like a golden goal or something, or even just instead of the 90th minute, do like a 30-minute golden goal. I think that would have been more beneficial than penalty shots.
Yeah, it's just a weird rule to see. Like obviously they want the players as fit as possible, but what else do they want? Like we already have 5 substitutions a game, which seems like overkill to me. Now you're just gonna go straight into penalty shootouts. As a Juve fan, obviously, like, it doesn't matter what happens, extra time penalties. I think we're still going to be the favorites either way. But it's just a shame to see, because if the team's really dominating the game and they have potential to score a goal and then the game ends, you don't have that extra time to say, okay, we're going to put it to bed here. And it's just a penalty shootout where we've seen any scenario, it's anyone's game in a penalty shootout. So it's just interesting to see. It's going to be weird to see. It reminds me of the ICC and the Super Coppa, but let's hope we won't need penalties, obviously. For the general fans, they'll love a penalty shootout. It'll be very interesting, especially in a Coppa Italia final. But for us over here, like the Juve fans, the Milan fans, Napoli and Inter fans, you don't want a penalty shootout. You just want your team to win in the first 90 minutes, and that's it. So, it'll be interesting to see, and let's see if the rule gets in place.
Yeah, I think it's just honestly just based off of rest. There's so many games coming up, and what if someone tears their ACL in extra time, or it's just the players get tired in general and they have to play 3 times a week almost in a couple of days after. So, yeah, just because of that. But Dan, you were about to say something?
The Super Coppa, they go straight to penalties?
Or no, extra time.
Extra time, right?
Yeah, extra time.
Yeah, because when you said they go straight to penalties, I'm like,
it just reminded me of like the style with the Super Coppa. Like usually with the Super Coppa, it's usually at the beginning of the season, and like players aren't as fit. So like that's what it reminded me of.
No, because it kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Napoli was in the Super Coppa, and it was a while ago. They had extra time.
Yeah,
and I agree with Enzo too. I agree with Enzo because I think they're doing it because they don't want players getting hurt because they're not the fittest. Let's be real. I don't think, and you could tell. I'm pretty sure these games they're coming up. As a fan, I'm gonna be as calm, like trying to be calm because I know they're gonna be a little bit sloppy, and I know when like teams get sloppy, they're gonna play bad, but it's gonna be both sides. It could be Juve Inter could end. Milan can end 0-0. You never know. Like it could be really that type of game.
But that would benefit Juve more than it would benefit Milan. That's why I don't know how Sarri's going into this.
See, that's why I think Juve have the advantage because Milan need to score because Juve have the away goal, and who knows what Milan side is going to come out. If it's going to be like a sloppy game, like both teams are going to look really sloppy, it's just going to look like poor soccer, or you never know. Milan and Juve can play maybe one of the best matches of the year. Like you never know what game, what sides are going to come out, what type of game it's going to be. So I think the penalties. I don't agree with the rule, but I think if you think about it, like the player, like health and safety wise, I think it's good. But as a fan, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, and I just think, like Francesco mentioned before, it is going to be kind of unfair because let's say Milan or Juve, they're playing really well in the game, and then they get it to extra time. Let's say one of the teams make a comeback, and then they have to go straight into penalties. They can't continue the momentum they built throughout the game.
Yeah.
So this will cause the Coppa to be a little bit tainted for whoever wins it because obviously the circumstances, but there's nothing the team can do. So they're just playing with the rules they have given to them. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, that's what they have to do. And you know, honestly, if you look at the bigger picture, it's probably better because they'll be playing 3 times a week for about a month and a half or so. So I think it is better.
The teams are just gonna have to finish it in the 90 minutes if they don't have hands.
Yeah, again, they only have themselves to blame. Now I say we move on here to the actual preview. Obviously, the preview won't be the same as previous ones because, let's be honest, we can't say, oh, this guy's in form or this guy's playing
well. We don't know.
We don't.
It's just a throw in the air.
Yeah, we normally do give score predictions. I know you guys can. I won't because I'm not really sure what to base it off of. There's no momentum or anything. So, all we can really look at is who's in the lead right now. And I believe Juve is in the lead going into Milano.
With the away goal, 1-1.
It's 1-1.
With the away goal? Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure Ronaldo scored a pen or something at the end.
Are they? Yeah. This game's in Juve, right?
Yeah.
The game coming up?
Yeah. The game's in.
Yeah. So, it's very hard to make a prediction or see what's going to happen. But, obviously Juve has the advantage and they're a tough team to beat. So, fit or not, it's going to be a good game. I'm excited and we get to watch soccer for the first time in a while with Calcio.
Especially like serious soccer. I'm excited. And
I'm excited
it's kind
for
of
that.
weird. It's kind of weird watching soccer in June, with it not being like say an international game. It's kind of feel weird. It's gonna feel weird for us for a little bit, but I'm happy it's back.
Yeah, Joe, what do you think about the match this Friday?
Well, I'm just excited that Serie A, well not Serie A, but Italian soccer is back. I really hope that we see an energized team, but it's going to take at least a couple of games to really get back into the swing of things. Milan, I think they're without Zlatan Ibrahimovic and the left back Hernandez. They're both suspended.
Yeah.
So I think that
Ibra's injured too.
Yeah, Ibra's probably injured. I know that Juve is without Higuain and who else are they without?
Chiellini's not. Higuain's not going to play. Chiellini's not going to play. And Ramsey's a doubt.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, so and I was even seeing that for the first time this season, we're going to start with Ronaldo, Costa, and Dybala. So I'm excited to see that. Hopefully, that really kickstarts something special. But I think it's not going to be an easy game for Juve. but I do think that they'll win. I want to see Ronaldo back on the score sheet as well because this season he's been on another level. But I'm really hoping that Juve gets the win and books the Coppa Italia final. And I really would like to see a final with either team, with Napoli or Inter. But I just hope that we win the game, that there's no injuries, and that we go into the final with no problems. So we'll see what happens on Friday.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I think the game could go either way. I'm very interested to see how the Trident will perform. They might be a little sloppy because it's first game back, but at the same time, I think Juve have all the pressure on them. They're the bigger team. They have the better players. Excuse me. So yeah, I just had.
Francesco won't be with us for the watch along.
No,
All right.
but I think I think Juve have the most pressure. You saw with Ronaldo's test that he's more fit from what the year started off. So he's going to be the most fit player on the field, in my opinion. So he has to really capitalize on that and really show his composure and strength and skill, and hopefully put this game away. I don't care who scores. I don't care if it's Buffon off of a corner. As long as we win this game, that's all that matters, and go to the Coppa Italia final. Because I feel like if we lose the Coppa Italia final, then we lose to Lyon in the Champions League, and then we somehow choke the Scudetto race to Lazio, I think Sarri's packing his bags and going abroad. So let's hope for a good Coppa Italia, good 2 games, and for all the neutral fans watching, if you watch the podcast, you'll know it'll be a very entertaining watch party if you're gonna have me watch a Juve game live with you.
Oh God.
So just be in for a ride. I can't wait for Coppa Italia to be back.
Hey.
Oh God.
So Franny was getting choked up that Calcio was back. That's why he started talking. And I want to say, Franny, if Buffon ends up scoring a goal, I'm pretty sure that's because Juve's losing and it's like the 90th minute. And he ties
Yeah,
the
that's
game
what
up.
I said.
And then they'll go with penalty shots. Buffon will save Juve. No, like for me, I'm excited to watch the Juve Milan game, but I'm mostly excited to watch my beloved Napoli play Inter. For me, I think Juve will go through. I just think they just have the better side to go through. And I also think Napoli will go through as well. And it's going to be a Juve-Napoli finals, and I think Napoli will win the Coppa Italia.
Yeah, I think, obviously the report, I think we mentioned it. We mentioned on the Instagram Live with Calcio Fan Blogs, but we saw that Inter reportedly, which I don't believe at all, putting the Primavera team in, which is not going to happen.
Yeah, Conte won't do that.
Yeah, and especially because Champions League they're out of. They're in the Europa League. We're not sure if that's coming back. I don't know what's going on. The Scudetto looks like they're out of the race almost. In my opinion, they are. And Coppa Italia is really the only trophy left they have to win. So I can really see them going all out. I can't really see them putting a 16-year-old Sebastian or whoever you want to find on their team.
Esposito and
No, it won't happen. It's a competitive game. It's not a friendly match.
Yeah, that's why.
I think
it's a big cup for them.
Pissed that the finals and the Coppa Italia semifinals were really close together, and then they also have a league game I think a few days after. So I think they're just pissed. And now because the game originally was supposed to be on the 14th, and the Juve game was supposed to be on the 13th, but now they moved it to the Friday and Saturday. So maybe Inter might start their 11. And I think Della Sport said too that they projected the Inter lineup, and they projected like Eriksen at the cam position, Martinez, Lukaku, like a full stacked Inter team.
Yeah, obviously you want to go all out.
But you never know. All I know is you gotta wait till the day before to see what Inter could do, because that's when they usually announce their squad. And I know Napoli are gonna go all in for this because it's the only trophy that they can potentially win this season. And yeah, so hopefully Napoli does it, because I want to see a trophy this season. And for me, if they can win the Coppa Italia, this season is somewhat of a success. Not the league, but the season overall could be a success. Somewhat of a success.
Joe, what do you think about Inter Napoli?
Well, it's going to be a tough game for Inter, obviously, because they're losing 1-0. But I I think that, it's a tough game like the Juve Milan to predict. You don't know what's going to happen because, soccer hasn't been on in such a long time. But, really hoping Napoli wins. I hope that, to see them in a final. I really don't want Inter anywhere near, a final especially for the Coppa Italia. Both teams went into the break on the wrong side. So hopefully both of them will be motivated to, spark up. The only reason I give Napoli the advantage here is because the season's been very poor from them. They're probably going to be without Champions League football for next season, and they're probably motivated to win the Coppa Italia this season. For Inter, I think that now that the reality of it is because the season is practically over for them too with the Serie A. I think that they're going to be going to the game with their heads down, but you never know. You never know how to predict this game. But I'm really hoping that Napoli comes through and the final with Juve and Napoli takes place.
Yeah, there we go.
Saying that, I'm
Francesco.
going to go and say what I need to say here. Yeah. I think Napoli Inter, I think it's very strange. I think if the season happened before this virus happened, I think I would gone with Napoli win 100%. But obviously now the players aren't fit. Anything could happen. Inter could just Napoli could be very weak here. They couldn't be match fit, and Inter could just capitalize on that and win the game. So either way, it's a good storyline for whoever makes a final. It could be a Derby d'Italia, Coppa Italia final. It could be Gattuso versus old team versus Napoli. It could be Conte versus old team. It could be Sarri versus old team. So whoever makes the final will be a very good storyline for the Coppa Italia final. Whichever way they would like to spin the story, it'd make very good highlights for whoever makes the story. And I'm just really excited. I would prefer Napoli. I think I just want round 3 of Napoli versus Juve. Sarri hasn't got the win against his former team yet. Obviously, Martessuilo got the win when we did. So I'll be very looking forward to it. A Juve Napoli, but a Juve Inter Derby d'Italia would always be nice.
Yeah, and even going back to Joe's point, saying Napoli didn't end the way the season was going poor, but since Gattuso took over and lately before his stoppage, Napoli were honestly I'm pretty sure they were one of the best teams in Italy, performance, not performance, results wise and performance wise. They started to wake up a little bit. They started to realize to find their form, and that's why I think I give the edge to Napoli. But who knows? Because we have a few injuries. I know Fabian Ruiz, he was injured, but I think he'll be fit. And they said Manolas could be a doubt for the game. So and let's see what Koulibaly can do with Maximovic pairing. I'm really excited for the games, both games, and I think both games are going to be entertaining to watch. And I'm just glad that Calcio is back and we have something to finally talk about.
Yeah, and I don't want to go from a high note to a pretty low note right now, after talking about Serie A coming back and Coppa Italia. But a report I just saw here on Twitter is former Juventus and Livorno player Giuseppe Rizza is in a coma after suffering a brain hemorrhage at the age of 33. So we'd like to share our thoughts and prayers with him and his family. We hope everything goes well, and just sad to see. That came out of nowhere, honestly. That caught me.
Yeah, it just popped up on our phone while recording the podcast, and we really want to make sure that we let you guys know what's happening, and our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family, and we really hope he does well.
Wow, that just killed the whole mood. I was excited. I just saw that. Wow.
True. Yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and family. Hopefully he gets out of it, and we'll keep our thoughts and prayers with you as well. And we're going to dedicate this podcast towards him. Hopefully he gets better.
Yeah, and just sad seeing all these players. It's happening really often now. So many players it's been happening. I know, I'm so sorry I can't remember his name, but he used to play for Roma. He was a young player. And the same thing happened to him or something similar. Nouri, I believe at Ajax, suffered that on the field, a coma. There's so much...
Yeah, it's just
really
sad to see. Didn't the same thing happen with the guy from Atalanta too, Rinaldi?
Yeah, also for Atalanta. So it's been happening very often. It's really scary. So I'm not sure what's going on, but there has to be some kind of trend because it really doesn't happen as often. there's something going on because it's been happening so often now. Every couple of weeks, I've been seeing a report similar to this. So I'm not sure what it is. I just hope whatever it is goes away and everyone just it's scary, guys. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
We hope him and his family well. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I really want to end it on a higher note, but this just had to be talked about and said. So yeah, once again, for the last time, thoughts and prayers from all of us here at Six Side are with him and his family and his friends. So we hope he gets better, and hopefully all these comas that have been going on just come to an end, because it's been really scary for the culture community. And yeah, guys, you'll be hearing from us next time on Friday, which is tomorrow. So yeah, you guys will be hearing the watch along Saturday as well.
Yeah,
and we're not sure.
Come to our YouTube.
Yeah, come to our YouTube channel. There'll be way more info on our Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, we'll be doing like I said at the beginning of the podcast, we'll be taking in calls from whoever wants to talk at the halftime about the match, even after the match. So yeah, thank you guys for listening, and hope you guys have a great day. Ciao.
Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao.
Ora che fare? Così qua più vado in alto più gli fa male. Grattata, pronta a sparare. Devi credere in te stesso, non ti puoi fidare. Yo, baby tu non ci pensare, yeah, yeah.